A very good evening everyone. Welcome to IAS with Arihant. The student, as you know, every day at 9 p.m. we are discussing about the Indian polity. And we all know the polity is one of the most important portion for your UPSC examination as well as for the state PSC examination. So for that purpose, we need to basically cater the subject in a very proper way so that you can get the maximum marks in the prelims examination and you get this selected for the mains examination. Okay. And basically this session is called as Prelims Possible, and it is specially designed for your prelims examination for your state PSC as well as for the UPSC examination. But this session is based on a book that is specially published by Arihant, and this book is called as Prelims Possible. And what you find the students means this book contains lots of uniqueness, and there is a unique feature also. So this explanation portion is one of the most beautiful segment of this book. So that is not only going to help you in the prelims examination, but also in your mains examination, students. Okay. So I like to mention what is the uniqueness about this book, why this book is different from the other book. So you'll see, students, basically this book is divided into chapters, and that chapter is divided into topic, and there is a topic based mind map. Okay, along with that, students, there's a MCQs and it is based on the mind map, and there's a 100% error free explanation. There's a knowledge plus for the typical question, and it contains 3500 plus previous year question bullets, students. That is going to help you a lot in your examination. So we are discussing about the function of parliament and parliamentary committee, and yesterday we discussed about the 30 question. So we will start from the same. So we just discussed yesterday about the parliamentary session, different type of motion. Okay, and we are going to discuss the same thing. Student, as I told you already, explanation is very uniquely mentioned under the same book. That will help you in the prelims examination as well as in the mains also. And students, while both, is going to help you in the interview too. Okay, let's suppose they're going to ask any data that is on subject based, that is going to be means helpful for the examination. So see, we'll start from the 31st question. Which one of the following statement about the privilege committee is not correct? So there's a privilege committee both in Lok Sabha as well as for the Rajya Sabha, and these privileges are available to the member of parliament. Okay, so read it carefully. So see, the rule number 222 of the Lok Sabha and 187 of Rajya Sabha governs the privileges of the basically this parliamentary committee. So it is asking which of the following is not correct. Okay, so if you see, students, basically rule number 222, see, you can't remember the each and every rule. So how we proceed with it, it is based on the data. Let's suppose you get a concept here by this question ki under the rule number 222 of the Lok Sabha, there is about the privileges. Okay, in the same format there is an article, in the rule number 187 of the Rajya Sabha, it also contains the privileges. Okay, so this statement 1 is correct. Now see the statement 2. In Lok Sabha, Speaker nominate a committee of privileges that consist of 15 members. So it is very correct. It contains 15 members in the Lok Sabha committee. But if you see in the Rajya Sabha, students, see, this member is going to be 10, not 15. So automatically now we know that there is a privilege committee in Lok Sabha also, in Rajya Sabha also, and that is governed by rule number 222 in Lok Sabha, at 187 in the Rajya Sabha, students. And what you find, students, in Lok Sabha, it consists of a 15 member committee, and basically it is nominate by the speaker. And in Rajya Sabha, student, deputy chairman will be the head for this committee, but it will contain 10 members only. So statement C is incorrect. Okay, so basically deputy chairman will be the head of the committee, and it will consist of only 10 members. Okay, because as you see, there is a less number in membership also, so that's why there is a less number in the Rajya Sabha, students. Now see the question number 32. which of the following provision deals with the privileges and immunities of the member of parliament under the Constitution of India? So which of the following provision deal with the privileges and immunities of the member of parliament under the Constitution of India? Okay, so we already discussed that there is an article. Okay, article 105 is mentioning about the privileges and basically this immunities of the member of parliament under the Constitution of India. But as we all know, we need to go with the data. Okay, so we need to see some other article also, like 104, okay, 117, that is connected with the financial bill. Just give me a second, I have to share this session with your friends so they can also join this session, because I am getting few messages, okay, sir, I am not able to join this session. Okay, just give me a second. Okay, okay everyone. Okay, so what you see, students, basically this article 105 is same for the privileges and immunity of the member of parliament under article 105 of the Indian Constitution. So these are the special rights, immunities and exemption enjoyed by the two House of Parliament, their committees and their members, students. Okay, so just remember it. So the committee also, the members also, they will get the immunity and there are some privileges. So we'll discuss about the privileges, like they can be arrested before in between the session. Okay, so any type of activity if they are going to conduct. Okay, basically 33rd question is here. Which one of the following statement is regard to the privileges and immunities of the parliament in India and its member is not correct? So which one of the following statement regard the privileges and immunities of the parliament and its member is not correct? Whenever you read question, this is very important. You have to see what this question want to know from you. Okay, that is very important. Sometimes it is happening, as you see, it is a very small word, and let's suppose you're reading, maybe you're going to forget. Okay, maybe you're not able to catch that word. So in that case, you are going to make a mistake, and that mistake create a penalty. And students, one of my flatmate was there. He basically his selection was basically he was out of the list by 0.13 marks. Okay, so see, this is happening multiple time with the multiple students. Few students, they got out by 0.01 marks. So there are few students. So that's why I'm telling you, your questions are very important. You have to read it very carefully. Let's suppose you are making this type of mistake, definitely you're going to out of the list. So be very assured what type of data they will ask and how you have to respond on that. Okay, the Constitution guarantees freedom of publication of parliamentary proceeding. Okay, so there is a freedom, okay, to the member, to the committee also. The member of parliament are immune from arrest in civil case 40 days before and after the session of the parliament. So in the civil case, they are not going to be arrested. Okay, the member of parliament are immune from arrest in criminal cases when parliament in the session. So students, now which of the following is not correct? So which freedom, which privilege is not given to basically the member of parliament? Okay, so what you see, students, if a sitting member, a member of parliament, so whenever session is going to be conducted, so let's suppose he did something wrong and there is a civil case. So if in the civil case matter, that is not going to be a criminal matter, in that case it can be delayed. Okay, so he will not be arrested. But let's suppose students, this is a criminal matter, so it is a matter of urgency. Okay, you have to present the fact as soon as possible. So in that case, there will be permission to arrest. Okay, but there is a constitution guarantee freedom of publication to the parliamentary proceeding. Yes, it is very correct. See, a member of parliament have immunity from arrest in the civil case before 40 days and after the session of the parliament, students. But as I told you, the member of parliament are immune, is basically not immune from the arrest if the case is connected with the criminal matter when the parliament is in session. So the most correct answer will be C. It is the immunity that is not available to the member of parliament. In criminal cases, they can be arrested, students. So this privilege is only available in civil case, not in the criminal case or preventive detention case. Okay, so they have freedom of speech in the parliament. No member is liable to any proceedings in any court for anything said or any vote given by him in the parliament or its committee, students. Okay, article, basically question number 34 we have, it was in UPPSC year 2017. Now, one of the following is not a collective privilege of the member of parliament. So this is not a collective privilege. It is available individually but not collective. So let's see it. So freedom of debate and proceeding. So it is collectively available, individually also available. Right to regulate the internal matter of the parliament, collective matter. Freedom from attendance as witness. So let's suppose students' witness can't be collective, it must be individual. The privilege of excluding a stranger from the house. So stranger will not allow, means it is they are not allowed in the house. So basically, students, what you find, statement C is going to be the correct answer, because the means freedom of attendance as a witness is available individually. Okay, so it is available individually. So it is not a collective privilege, students. Okay, so freedom from witness is the privilege enjoyed by member individually, but it is not a collective privilege. Okay, so these all privileges are mentioned in the constitution as well as the rule book of the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Now see, the question number 35 we have, parliament can make law for whole or any part of India for implementing international treaties. Okay, so basically parliament is a sovereign body. Basically they can create law for the union. Okay, now students, let's suppose they are going to basically make a international treaty for, let's suppose, for the whole country or maybe for a part. Okay, so in that case they are going to take consent or something else. So this question was in UPSC IAS pre 2000 and 2013, UPPSC 2006. So question number A, means statement A we have, with the consent of all state. So we are what? We are union. We are not true federal. We are not like USA. So there is no consent required. Okay, with the consent of the majority state, it is also not needed because it is a matter of international importance. Article 253 is here. With the consent of the state concerned and without the consent of any state. So basically option D will be correct. They not need to take any consent from any state if it is a matter of international treaty. So union will take care for the same, students, and they can implement in basically a part of India or in the complete India, students. Okay, so article 245 to 255 in part 11 of the constitution deals with the legislative relation between the union and the state, students. So this provision allow government to fulfill the international obligation by enacting necessary domestic law to comply with the term of these agreements, students. Getting it? Easy. Now see the question number 36. Okay, so the Indian Parliament cannot legislate on subject of state list unless. So cannot legislate on a subject of state list unless. Students, subject list for the state, it is mentioned under basically schedule 7 of Indian Constitution. So there is a 3 type of list: list 1, list 2 and list 3. List 1 is for the union, list 2 is for the state and list 3 is for the concurrent. Okay, so we already discussed, let's suppose something is need to modify, and it can be done by the parliament in a state matter also, but there is a condition. State council is there, that is called as Council of State, Rajya Sabha, they must agree on that matter to modify. But now students, Indian Parliament cannot legislate on subject unless, so what required? Okay, so President of India direct it to do so. President has means no power in that matter, because it is a matter of state, it is a matter of state list. Only Rajya Sabha has power in that matter, students. So this statement 1 is incorrect. Rajya Sabha passes a resolution that it is necessary to do so in national interest. So if Rajya Sabha think that ki under Article 249 also, 253 also, if Rajya Sabha found that ki it is needed, okay, then they will pass a resolution on the same. And students, Speaker of Vidhan Sabha also don't have any means requirement here, and there must be the national importance. Okay, so what you see, students, statement 2 and statement 4 is going to be the most appropriate and correct answer for the same, and we already discussed about the same. So answer D will be correct, option D will be correct for the same. 2 and 4 statement will be correct. Now see students, this is the answer. The Indian Parliament cannot legislate on a subject of state list unless the Rajya Sabha passes a resolution that it is necessary to do so in national interest and there is a national emergency, students. So if there is a national interest and there is a national emergency, then only Rajya Sabha can pass, means if they think fit, okay, it is needed, then they can pass it. So part 11 we already discussed, 245 to 255, it is deals with the legislative relation between the union and the state. Okay, so constitution empower parliament to make law any matter provided in the state list, but 5 extraordinary circumstances and they are must followed. Rajya Sabha passes resolution in that, let's suppose there is a national emergency, state make a request and to implement international agreement, okay, and during the president rule, the parliament will legislate law over the state list, students. Okay, now see, this question was in IAS 2016. Okay, which of the following statement is correct? Okay, so you have to choose the correct answer. A bill pending in Lok Sabha lapse on its prorogation. Okay, and a bill pending in Rajya Sabha which will not passed by Lok Sabha shall not lapse on the dissolution of the Lok Sabha, students. Okay, so you have to choose the correct answer for the same. Okay, so just opt the right answer. And students, it is very important. Okay, so it is very important to understand what is the means important constitutional meanings. Okay, so let's suppose there is a word named as prorogation. What is prorogation here? Okay, so basically it is action of discontinuing a session in the parliament. Okay, so basically it is not dissolved, it is means you can say it is delayed, or it may be the session is ended, session complete and new session is going to start. So let's suppose a bill pending, let's suppose a winter session is there and bill is pending here, so it is going to be lapse. Okay, bill pending in Lok Sabha lapse under the prorogation, it is not going to be lapse. Okay, now students, bill pending in Rajya Sabha which has not been passed by Lok Sabha shall not lapse on the dissolution of the Lok Sabha, students. So bill pending in the Rajya Sabha which has not been passed by Lok Sabha shall not lapse on the dissolution of Lok Sabha. Okay, so see, you have to choose the correct answer for the same. So under this question, explanation are very means explicitly written. So means I will say ki just let's see the data with the explanation portion, because it is a very systematic. So what you find, students, see, a bill pending in Rajya Sabha which has not been passed by Lok Sabha shall not lapse on the dissolution of the Lok Sabha, students. A bill lapse in the following condition. When bill will lapse? So a bill pending is Lok Sabha, lapse. Okay. A bill passed by Lok Sabha but pending in Rajya Sabha, lapse. A bill not passed by both house due to disagreement, and if President has notified the holding of joint sitting before the dissolution of Lok Sabha, does not lapse. Okay. A bill pending in the Rajya Sabha but not passed by Lok Sabha does not lapse. Okay. And a bill passed by both house but pending assent of the President will also not lapse. A bill passed by both house but returned to the President for reconsideration of house does not lapse. So these are the conditions where the bill is not going to be lapse, students. Lapse means basically you can say end. Okay, easy. Now see, there is a economic survey is presented in Parliament every year. So question number 38 we have, before presentation of the budget of coming year, after the presentation of the budget of coming year, after presentation of financial bill, and has no relation with the presentation of budget. So students, first we have to understand what is budget. So budget is basically considered as annual financial statement. Annual financial statement, students. Okay, and it is mentioned under Article 112 of Indian Constitution. And what you find, students, basically what annual financial statement contain. So basically it contain expenditure as well as about the income. So expense and income will be here. And what you find, students, it is government expense and government income. So from where the government will means get money, so there will be capital, basically income, there will be revenue also, like from the taxes and other thing, and then they are going to invest over the country, that means for the country development. And students, see, this is futuristic, how we are going to earn this, we are going to spend this. So before presenting the budget, let's suppose this year 2024-25 budget is presented in 3 budget, but in 2023 the budget was presented, and that was for the 2023-24. Now basically economic survey is going to be created. Okay, and it is just presented before, means it is just one day before the presentation of the budget of the India, students. So it is presented before the presentation of the budget for the coming year. So this question was in multiple examination, when it is going to be presented. Okay, so it is just before the presentation of the basically the budget of the coming year. So economic survey prepared under the guidance of the chief economic advisor. So this was also a question, and this is also going to be important for the examination. Okay, so this document is presented to the both house of the parliament during the budget session, students. Now 39th question we have, vote on account it meant for. So let's suppose a fund required. Okay, so that fund is basically it is not on the report of CAG. Basically it is not to meet the basically unforeseen expenditure, so that will be from the contingency fund. Appropriate fund pending passing the budget. Okay, so as we all know that this year means Government of India presented the interim budget. So where let's suppose they want some money, so they will basically from the Consolidated Fund of India, they will vote on account. It is simply called as vote on account. So this is one thing, students. Option C is correct for the same. So vote on account mean appropriating fund pending basing of budget. So vote on account is a process by which government withdraw money from the Consolidated Fund of India for the expenditure until the appropriation bill passed by the parliament. Okay, so vote on account also give permission, means it is also a permission by parliament to withdraw money from the consolidated fund of India. So it can't be means withdraw means एम नहीं उठा सकते इसको. Okay, so till the time appropriation bill is not passed, for certain time they can take money from the consolidated fund of India. This is called as vote on account. Now question number 40 we have, a bill is presented in parliament became an act after. So bill presented in parliament. So if a bill is presented in parliament, let's say it is presented in Lok Sabha, that bill will go to the Rajya Sabha. If both houses passed it, then it will go to the President of India. And when President will give assent on that bill is going to be converted as act. And these President assent mentioned under Article 111. So a bill is presented in parliament became act after it passed by both house. The President has given his assent. The Prime Minister is signed. The Supreme Court declared it to be within the competence of the Union Parliament. So when President of India give a assent on a bill, that bill is going to be converted as act. Otherwise, that bill will be simply a bill. Okay, everyone. So his bill presented in parliament became act after the President has given his assent. Legislative proposals are brought before either House of Parliament of India in form of a bill. A bill is draft of a legislative proposal, which means it is passed by both House of Parliament and assented to the President, became an act of the Parliament student. So it is President assent required to convert a bill into a act, students. Now, an act of Parliament is called as, so let's suppose any basically any bill means any act they created, like let's suppose this Women Commission. Okay, so in that case, that will be called as, it will be called as bill, it will be called as legislation, it will be called as statute, or it will be called as public policy, student. So basically it is called as statute. Okay, so this is passed by the Parliament of the India, students. Now an act of Parliament is called as a statute, is a rule or law which has been made by the government or other organization and formally written down, students. Okay, now 42nd question we have, a bill for the purpose of creating new state must be passed by. So students, let's suppose a new state is going to be created. New state. A new state can be created by two methods. One, by admitting any other territory than India. So it is basically by admitting another territory than India. It is mentioned under Article 2 of the Indian Constitution. And basically under Article 3, students, existing state can be modified. Existing state modification is there. But student, what you find for the creation of new state by both method is lies in the hand of Parliament. But let's suppose basically this Parliament means there will be recommendation is means asked by the state, but it is not compulsory that Parliament is going to consider for the same. So now just see what type of majority required to create a new state. A simple majority in Parliament and ratification not less than 2/3 of the state. A simple majority of the Parliament. What is simple majority here, students? Simple means the member who present and voted. So it is not absolute. What is absolute? Absolute means total membership will be counted. Total member. Okay. So absolute majority means 50% plus 1 of house. It will be absolute majority. Present and voting is simple majority. Let's suppose under the absolute majority 543 members are there. So it will be counted on 543. So let's suppose someone not participated, some seats are vacant, absent. It means so it will be count on 543 only. Okay, but under the simple majority, the member who came to the session and who voted, let's suppose only 100 people came, so you required 51 votes in favor to make that changes under the simple majority. Got it? So absolute majority, it is on the complete house number, and basically simple majority, the basically member who came and who voted on that number. Okay everyone, so basically for the creation of new state, a simple majority required in the parliament. Students, statement B will be correct for the same. Okay, simple majority. Okay, now see the question number 43. How many times a president can return a non-money bill passed by parliament? So it was in Uttar Pradesh PSC, it was in Nagaland PSC. What you find, students, a money bill can introduce in Lok Sabha only, and it came on the recommendation of the President of India. So Rajya Sabha can't do anything. Rajya Sabha cannot withhold it. So within 14 days money bill is going to be passed. Okay, but if it is a non-money bill, how many times president can return that bill? So it says that let's suppose President of India means on any basically bill, if he is not happy, then he can send for reconsideration. But let's suppose, students, that basically that bill is passed by once again by the parliament. In that case, students, that bill is going to be, means it is now president is bound to give assent over the same, so only he can send it for only once for reconsideration. Okay, generally one time only. Okay, so President of India can return a non-money bill passed by the parliament only once. So under the legislative power enjoyed by the president, when bill is sent to the president after it has been passed by parliament, basically he can give his assent to the bill, withhold his assent to the bill, and return the bill if it is not a money bill for reconsideration of parliament. However, if the bill is passed again by the parliament with or without amendment, the president has give his assent to the bill, students. Now question number 44 we have here. When a bill is referred to joint sitting, both house of parliament, it has to be passed by. Now students, we all know joint sitting. Joint sitting is basically called when the house has deadlock. So where Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, if they have any deadlock, then by using Article 108 of Indian Constitution, President of India call a joint sitting where both house member Lok Sabha plus Rajya Sabha will sit here and they will discuss about the means issue. And there is, students, only simple majority required to pass that bill. It is also a important thing. So it only requires the simple majority and member presenting and voting. It is also not absolute. It is member present and voting, simple majority, students. Getting it? Easy everyone. So just try to remember for the same. So statement A is correct for the same, students. So bill referred to a joint sitting of both house of parliament, it has to be passed by simple majority of the member present and voting. So we already know under Article 108 of the Indian Constitution, joint session provision is there. It is headed by, it is presided by Speaker of Lok Sabha. If he is not there, then Deputy Speaker. If he is also not there, then the Deputy Chairman of Rajya Sabha will chair the session, students. Now, question number 45 we have. Which one of the following bill must be passed by each house in the parliament separately by special majority? So students, ordinary bill, simple majority required. Money bill, only Rajya Sabha, because it is mentioning that by each house. Money bill, only Lok Sabha has power. Financial bill, majorly Lok Sabha has power. But constitutional amendment bill, it is mentioned under Article 368 of Indian Constitution. It required 2/3, means it is a special majority. Other than, see, very important, other than simple. Simple means simple majority, 50% plus 1 present and voting. Okay. Other is here, basically this absolute majority, 50% plus 1 of the house. So of the house means complete member will be counted. Other than these two majority students called as a special majority. Other than these two majority is called as special majority. Effective majority is also there. What is effective majority? Let's suppose 543 seats in the Lok Sabha. But maybe few members are not there because of the death, or maybe some seats are vacant. So let's suppose present time 540 seats only filled. So this will be the effective majority. Okay, so it will be counted on the the present seat, how many seats are filled presently. Getting it? So basically the Constitution Amendment Bill is the over that matter a special majority required from both of the houses. Okay, so see students, Constitution Amendment Bill passed by each house of the Indian Parliament separately by the special majority. The procedure for amendment of the Constitution is laid down under Article 368 of Indian Constitution, and an amendment of the Constitution can be initiated only by the introduction of a bill for the purpose in either House of Parliament and not in the state legislature. So the bill must be passed in each house by the special majority, that is more than 50% of the total membership, and and a majority of 2/3 of the member present and voting students. Okay, so each house must pass this bill separately. We already discussed about the same data as students. Now see the question number 46. Who will decide whether a bill is money bill or not? So we already discussed under money bill is defined under Article 110 and 109 is also there, and basically the Speaker of Lok Sabha has power to decide a bill is money bill or not. So what speaker will say, it will be accepted and it is not under the preview of judicial review. So the judges can't do anything. Okay, so the decision of the Lok Sabha speaker is final, and his decision in this regard cannot be questioned in any court of law. Okay, everyone, that's why you will say Aadhaar bill that was presented as money bill. Okay, so this was also a question. Any money bill cannot be introduced in parliament without the consent of. So basically students, any financial bill especially, it is brought to the parliament by the president, means it is came after the recommendation of the President of India. So it is already consent over the money bill. Then it will come to the Lok Sabha, and Lok Sabha has sole authority, but it is sent to the Rajya Sabha also. But Rajya Sabha has limited power. They can delay maximum for 14 days. Within 14 days they have to return, and let's suppose they are not returning, that bill is considered to be passed because already President consent is there. Okay everyone, so any money bill cannot be introduced in parliament without the consent of President of India. A money bill can only be introduced in Lok Sabha on prior recommendation of the President, and it must be passed by Lok Sabha with a simple majority of all members present and voting. Okay everyone, and students, Rajya Sabha cannot withhold, cannot amend the money bill. Okay, now the money bill is defined. So basically about the definition is mentioned in article which of the Indian Constitution, students. So article 109 and 110 both connected with the money bill. 110 is about the definition. 111 is about the assent to bill of the President of India. Article 112 is about the annual financial statement. Okay, very important. So the most appropriate answer is B. So just remember this also. Okay everyone, so money bill is defined under Article 110 of the Indian Constitution, and money bill are concerned with the financial matter like taxation, public expenditure, etc. So here what is money bill? It is defined: imposition, abolition, remission, alteration of any tax is the pattern of the money bill. Regulation of money borrowing by Union government is the part of the money bill. Payment and receipt of the Consolidated Fund of India. Okay, so these will be the part of the money bill. Now see the question number 49. And which one of the following statement is correct? This was in UPPCS Government Inter College Exam, UPPSC Mains 2011 and Bihar PSC 2017. Money bill is introduced in Rajya Sabha. We all know it is not going to introduce in Rajya Sabha. It can only introduce in Lok Sabha. It can be either house, no. It cannot be, no. It is only introduced in Lok Sabha of the India students. So only statement B is going to be the more correct. We all know money bill and mentioned in Article 110. Okay, it's concerned with the financial matter like taxation, public expenditure and all. It is introduced in Lok Sabha. It cannot be rejected by, cannot amend by the Rajya Sabha. They can withhold maximum days for the 14 days students. Now, the question number 50 we have a bill which merely involve expenditure and does not include any of the matter specified under Article 110 can be. A bill which merely involve expenditure and does not include any matter specified under Article 110 can be. Initiate only in Lok Sabha. Okay, see students, involve expenditure and does not include any matter specified under Article 110. It means that this is not a money bill. Okay, so if it is not a money bill, what is going to happen? Okay, okay. Initiate only in Lok Sabha, initiated in either house of the parliament, initiated in Rajya Sabha, initiated in joint session of the both house of the parliament. So students, if it is a matter of finance, I told you all finance matter lies in the hand of Lok Sabha. Why? Student, finance matter is connected with the tax. Who is paying tax? So tax are paid by the people of India. You will say yes sir. And now students, people, we are in a democratic country and these taxes are collected by government. So government and these people are going to choose member of parliament. They will form government. So they will responsible here and they trust on that. So that's why Lok Sabha has a right to initiate the financial matter. Getting it? So these are the very common trick you can use to find out the correct answer, students. Okay, easy. So a bill merely involves expenditure, does not include any matter specified under Article 110, can be initiated only in Lok Sabha. As per Article 117, financial bill are those bill which are concerned with a financial matter, and but they are different from money bill. Financial bill are further classified into two categories. Okay, basically category A bill contain provision dealing with any matter specified in some clause A to F, and basically this is included under Article 110 clause 1, students. Okay, category B involve expenditure from the consolidated fund of India. Now see the question number 51. Bill other than money bill are introduced for being passed by parliament in. Bill other than money bill. It is in Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, any house of the parliament, joint session of both house of parliament. A bill other than money bill are introduced for being passed by the parliament. Okay, other than money bill. So we all know if it is other than money bill, okay, so it can be introduced in either house of the parliament if it is not the financial matter. Let's suppose constitutional amendment bill, okay, impeachment of president bill. Okay, so these can be introduced in either house of the parliament. Okay, Arihant. Question number 52 we have, which of the following statement is about the money bill is not correct? Okay, so a money bill can be tabled in house of parliament. They are not specifying in which house it is going to be presented. This was in UPSC pre-2000. To the Speaker of Lok Sabha is the final authority to decide whether a bill is a money bill or not. So we all know Speaker will decide whether a bill is money bill or not. Rajya Sabha must return a money bill within return the money bill passed by Lok Sabha and send it for reconsideration within 14 days. It is also very correct. If let's suppose they are not passing it, that bill is considered to be passed. Why? Because the President of India already giving consent on them. The President cannot return money bill to the Lok Sabha for reconsideration because it is already introduced with the consent of the President of India. Okay, so these three statements are correct, and money bill can only introduce in Lok Sabha. So statement A is incorrect, so that's why it is going to be the right answer for this question, students. Okay, easy everyone. So Article 109 Clause 1, money bill shall not introduce in the Council of State, that is Rajya Sabha. It can only be introduced in Lok Sabha, students, and it basically it is presented with prior recommendation of the President of India, students. Okay everyone, now see the question number 53. With reference to the financial bill and money bill in Indian Parliament, consider the following statement. Financial bill and money bill. So when Lok Sabha transmit financial bill to the Rajya Sabha, it can amend or reject the bill. When the Lok Sabha transmit money bill to the Rajya Sabha, it cannot amend and cannot reject the bill. It can only make a recommendation. In case of disagreement between the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, there is no joint session for the money bill, but joint session became necessary for the financial bill. Now you have to choose the correct statement regarding the question, students. So which of the following is correct? Okay, only one, only two, all three, or none of the above. Now students, when Lok Sabha transmit finance bill to the Rajya Sabha, it can amend or reject the bill. Okay, they can't. Okay, because it is the matter of finance and it is basically lies in the hand of the Lok Sabha. We already discussed, so this is incorrect. When Lok Sabha transmit a money bill to the Rajya Sabha, it can amend or reject the bill within it cannot amend or reject the bill within 14 days. They have to send the bill to the they must pass the bill, otherwise this bill is think to be passed. So this statement 2 is correct. In case of disagreement between the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, there is no joint session for the basically the money matter. Joint session is only possible under Article 108 for the ordinary bill. Okay everyone, so basically this only B will be correct for the same, means only 2 is correct for the same. Okay everyone, easy. Now vote on account, we already discussed, permits Indian government to, very important, it is basically introduced, means it is basically done at that time. Let's suppose government don't have fund for the expenditure. In that case, students, they will take money from the consolidated fund of India for few time. Okay, so go for public loan, borrow money from the Reserve Bank of India, give grant in aid to state, and withdraw money from the consolidated fund of India for a specified period of time. So that is considered as the vote on account, students. Okay, so this is simple and we already discussed about the same. A vote on account is the process by which incumbent government obtain votes from Parliament to draw money from the consolidated fund of India in the run of the general election. So Parliament vote to sanction the withdrawal of money from the fund to meet regular government expenses such as payment of salaries, interest, and it is usually valid for 2 months until the new government present the full budget. Okay, now see the question number 55. Now, how many days Rajya Sabha has to return money bill to the Lok Sabha? Within how many days Rajya Sabha must resend or return the money bill to the Lok Sabha? To the Lok Sabha. It is 12 days, it is 14 days, it is 16 days, or it is 18 days. So we all know it is 14 days, and let's suppose they are not going to pass that bill is think to be passed, students. Okay, now see the question number 56. A bill is deemed to be money bill as per Article 110. It contains provision dealing with the following matter. regulation of borrowing of Government of India, custody of Consolidated Fund of India, audit of account of the state. Okay, so if it is a matter of the finance students, and who will decide it? It is decided by the Speaker of Lok Sabha. So basically money bill contain imposition, abolition and alteration of any basically taxes, a regulation of borrowing money of the union government. So if we see the explanation portion for this question, I think that will be more appropriate for your prelims concept as well as for the mains concept. So all of the above is correct. Now see, Article 110 deals with the money bill of the Indian Constitution, but few provision bill to be deemed as money bill, and the provision that make bill money bill are given here. Basically the imposition, abolition, remission, alteration or regulation of any taxes is the part of the money bill. Regulation of the borrowing of money by the union government, the custody of the Consolidated Fund of India or the Contingency Fund of India, the payment of money into or withdrawal from any such fund, appropriation of money out of the Consolidated Fund of India, declaration of any expenditure, charges on the Consolidated Fund of India, and the receipt of money on account of the Consolidated Fund of India or the public account of India, custody or issue of any such money, or the audit of the account of the union or of the state students. Getting it? Now see the question number 57. Which one of the following statement is correct? Okay. Article 111 of the Constitution deals with the money bill. We all know money bill under Article 110 and their procedure under Article 109. 111 is about the assent to bill. Okay. Now a bill categorized as a financial bill under Article 117 clause 3 can be only introduced in Lok Sabha. A bill categorized as a financial bill under Article 117 clause 1 cannot be rejected or amended by the Rajya Sabha. So which of the following statement is correct for the same? So if you see students, basically statement 1 is correct, incorrect. So A is not right answer for this. Statement 2 is also basically incorrect. So only statement 3 will be counted here. Okay. So basically Rajya Sabha cannot amend or reject in the money bill and under Article 117 clause 1 also. Okay. So 110 provide for the money bill. Okay. So a bill charged as financial bill under Article 117 clause 3 can be introduced in either house of parliament. Okay. But if it is under Article 117 clause 1, that shall be introduced only in Lok Sabha, and Rajya Sabha cannot amend or reject on that issue. Okay everyone, so this will be your homework and you have to give your homework in the answer comment box, and this was in IAS Pre 2004 question students. So just go through it, read it. If you feel doubt and difficulties, just share with us. Student, we all know see this book is going to be a very important part of your preparation. So you must go with this book, Prelims Possible, for the prelims examination for any state or UPSC. So you can go for the history, geography, polity, economics, science, and you already seen that there's a very great explanation for each and every question, and that question are very systematically arranged. So that is going to help you a lot in your understanding the concept as well as for the basically scoring maximum marks in the prelims examination. Thank you so much students for joining and listening. We'll meet soon everyone. Take care. Have a great